So this morning I am interviewing the lovely Sarah Naylor. So Sarah and I have known each other for quite a few years now. In fact, Sarah, when I moved to near Nottingham, you were one of the first people that I actually met. We went for a coffee, didn't we? It was.
We did in Costa in Bingham, I think it was.
It was. I remember it well.
We were there chattering for quite some time, as I recall.
So yes, I've known Sarah a long time. She's very, very talented, and I'm very happy to have her in the Positive Vibes for you all this morning. So let me give you a bit of background on Sarah, and then we're going to get talking about how to manifest your dream job. So Sarah works holistically with her personal development coaching to help you to realize exciting new possibilities in every aspect of your life. She can also help you to achieve true balance and learn how it feels to exist with your most confident, most engaged and most fulfilled self. She is the author of Shining a Light on You, and I know she's got the book there because we just looked at it a minute ago, and I was very lucky to go to the book launch for that. That was a couple of years ago, was it?
Coming up for 3 years ago, I think.
It's a really great book, and it's all about how to manifest your dream job. And she also has 30 years experience in recruitment. She's helped thousands of people to find their dream job and change their careers already. And since 2012, she's been delivering coaching alongside running her recruitment business, which enables Sarah to embrace her passion for creating positive changes in others and supporting people to be the best they can be. She also incorporates spiritual awareness and enjoys helping others to find that deeper connection to their authentic self and find that clarity to become more positive, more productive, and more receptive to change. Sarah's coaching style incorporates spiritual elements, so integrating your body, your emotions, your mind, and your spirit to help you access your full potential and become a powerful creator for your life, your desires, and she helps you to explore your dreams and your true identity with yourself. So, as you can see, she's very, very talented. She has lots of strings to her bow, which we'll come on to later because there's lots of links to add in after this interview. So, shall I get on with have you got the book there, by the way?
I have. I've got my book here, yes.
So at the end, we're going to let you know how you can get your hands on the book. I've got the book. It's really, really good. So I highly recommend you getting your hands on that book if you're looking for a career change. So first question, Sarah, what steps do people need to take when they're looking for a new job?
Right, great question. Thank you for asking that one. Really, it's about taking time with yourself to sort of really think about who you are, what it is you enjoy doing, and what you want to do again. All too often, you know, I hear people go, well, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do the other. That's great. You recognize what you don't want to do. However, the subconscious doesn't understand a negative. So all it's hearing is, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I want to do the other. So it's really turning that round and focusing in on what it is that you want to do specifically, and really looking through your career and identifying those areas that you've really, really enjoyed and what it is you actually want to do again, and getting clarity on that.
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of suggestions that you could give people right now, do you have any suggestions for CVs, for maybe changing LinkedIn profiles, any kind of social media?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think, you know, you've hit on a great thing there with the CV and the LinkedIn profile. In terms of the CV, I would really encourage anybody to spend time on their CV, because it's spending time with yourself. Let's face it, when you are going out to buy a new car or buy a new house, you spend a lot of time working out what it is you want specifically. Oh no, people go around, you see the location programs, and people are viewing that many houses and it doesn't meet this requirement, it doesn't meet that requirement. How many people spend that much time working on themselves and looking at their own CV? And the power in looking at your own CV is that you are spending time with yourself, identifying what you've done, where you've gone. So you really understand it. You've got this real deep understanding of what it is you enjoy doing and where you see your career. So again, it is spending time on, you know, in your own sort of bubble, if you like, just really focusing in and taking that time, going into the detail. You know, you might create this long, lengthy document, but it is about getting something down to about 2 or 3 pages, and having reflected on there those key elements that you really do enjoy. So let's say, for instance, you're in a role right now and there's a lot of it that you don't enjoy doing. Don't put it on your CV. Keep it off your CV, because what happens is, behind the scenes is, because obviously I've got a recruitment business as well, and whether it's a hiring manager, a recruiter, whoever it is that's recruiting will hone in on your CV, and they will pick up on the bits that they want for their job. So if you are great in customer service or sales, for instance, but the current job that you're in is all administrative, there's a bit of customer service, for instance. If you put all this weighty administrative information in there, that is what you're going to attract back. That is what, when somebody's running a search, they're going to pick up on, and those are the calls you are going to get about that. Whereas if it's customer service that you want to do again, it's about making sure all those key points to do with customer service, account management, dealing with problems, for solution folks, they're all embedded into your CV, and it's reflected so that people can see that and jump on that straight away. It's also pulling in any key acronyms, for instance, that you might have within your industry. You may use specific databases that could be relatable to another industry, that when somebody's running a search, that company, I think about, businesses that deal in accountancy, for instance, and they want somebody that's a Sage operator. People will search for accountant plus Sage, for example. So it's really, really important to make sure those keywords are embedded into your CV and it's replicated onto your LinkedIn profile as well. The LinkedIn profile is, that is a massive thing on its own. I mean, I can talk to you about a lot to do with LinkedIn. I mean, I'm no LinkedIn expert, but on that front facing point, it is your window opportunity to sell yourself, which of course your CV is as well. That is that document that will enable you to get in front of a recruiter or a hiring manager. It's got to stand out. It's got to be short. It's got to be succinct. It's got to really demonstrate your energy, for you to be working with like-minded people, for you to be able to work with the people that you actually want to work with or you want to attract into you.
Yeah.
And here's the magic. You can do all of that work on your CV, on your LinkedIn profile. You might not ever need it, because once you've got that clarity in your mind and you know exactly what it is you want to attract in, opportunities will find you. Yeah. That's where the magic works. And I know that for a fact, because that's how over the years I've found my own, I've manifested jobs into my own life, because I've got to the point of knowing specifically what it is that I'm looking for. And that's what I've attracted in. And that's what I talk about in the book. It is putting all this, there's so many elements to it. I mean, obviously we're just having a sort of short live right now, but it is the key is to spending time on yourself and getting that information down, that clarity and focus, and understanding truly what it is you want to do and achieve. And, then the rest will happen if you are tuned in and you are open to and recognise the opportunities as they present themselves.
Yeah. Well, I haven't done I have not updated my CV for many, many years. I don't even know if I've still got a CV now, but I guess they've changed a lot over the years. They used to be quite boring, I think. And I think mine was only like 1 page long. So I guess you can do a lot more with them now. And like you say, the LinkedIn is more of an active CV, isn't it? I know that people do headhunt on LinkedIn, don't they? So you definitely want to link them together.
Absolutely, because there are the LinkedIn have a paid for recruiter package that internal recruiters will buy into, external recruiters will buy into, and you have got the ability on LinkedIn to put whether you are searching for jobs. It doesn't show on its main screen, but for those who have bought into that package, they will be alerted to you that you are looking. So in many respects, if you put that effort in now into your CV, into your LinkedIn profile, you might not necessarily need to do that much more. But it is about taking action when there's opportunities. So it's a double-edged sword, really. You've got to put that effort in to get the opportunities out there. But equally so, by putting the effort in now, you might not need to put as much effort in, but you've still got to put the effort in terms of being alert, aware, interacting, having a presence perhaps on LinkedIn, having a presence, getting involved and getting out there and talking to people and sharing with them what it is that you enjoy doing, and not always putting it into the future either, not always saying, well, this is what I want to do. It's about, this is me, this is what I do, these are the opportunities that I'm currently looking for. So it's keeping it into the present time as well. But, you know, coming back to what you were just saying there about the CV, I don't know whether that's much that they've changed, because obviously it's a documentation of your career history. But I was listening to somebody talk about a CV profile yesterday. It was quite, and it's something I'd like to bring up now, because this is what you call a functional CV. Mm-hmm. And that's where people have sort of forgotten to put all their career history in deliberately, because they just want to focus in on the set skills that they've got. And I totally agree with the lady that was talking about it, because she said, don't do functional CVs. And I couldn't agree more, because as a recruiter, you look at somebody's CV and you want to see how the pieces fit together. You want to see somebody's career progression. You want to see where they're at, what they've been doing, how it all sort of knits together. And just being, you know, given an overview of specific qualities, that's okay on your sort of your profile piece. You've got a little bit of a profile, the opportunity, your window to sort of sell yourself. But equally so, it's about what you can bring to an employer. It's not banging on about how wonderful you are. It's about sort of saying, you know, these are the skills, that effectively how an employer can benefit from working with you. And it's getting the essence of your energy through. So you're kind of telling a story, if you like, but in a nice way, so that your CV flows, so that there's no sort of gaps, and check spelling errors. Make sure you've got your contact details on there. I had a CV through the day, no contact details. It's like, well, what? Really? You've got to make it easy for people to contact you, because otherwise that's your window gone when a recruiter's looking at a CV. If you're saying on your profile that you pay attention to detail, but you've not even put your contact details on, forget it. So, you know, it's just being mindful. It's being aware of who you are, getting that portrayed on your CV, recognizing the opportunities, and just understanding who you are, so the conversations that you have are present and you're communicating that across with people as well.
Yeah, sure. And if it was me and I was recruiting, if someone had made a spelling mistake in a CV, that would be it. I would not be employing them, because that's the one thing that really winds me up, because you can spell check things.
Absolutely. And also there are systems, some big employers will put CVs through systems, and it will pick up and it will just throw out all of the CVs that don't fit. And you've got to think now that, you know, there's going to be quite a lot of people out there looking for work. So put the effort in, spend that time, get your CV down to 2 to 3 pages, make sure it reflects you. And, you know, the employers are going to be in a position of being able to pick and choose from far more candidates. I mean, right now we're recruiting for a number of bilingual roles, and it's never been such a great time for my client to recruit, because they've got a larger choice, a bigger pool of talent than they normally would have. I mean, I had some new starters yesterday, and one of the candidates had applied for an Italian role that I'd been advertising, and it just so happened she spoke Portuguese, and another team leader had contacted me, we need somebody with Italian and Portuguese, and bang, she was just perfect, because her CV arrived at the right time, did an interview, and she started yesterday. But it's about being ready for those opportunities as well, you know, and but putting yourself ahead of the pack, because if you think that you, rather than perhaps being just one person looking for one job, you're one of perhaps half a dozen, 30, 40, depending on what sector you're in, looking for work. So make sure you project yourself in the best possible way, and have that energy, have that enthusiasm. Don't look at the downside or the negative. It's about looking at what you've got and what you can bring, rather than, oh, well, my last employer was, nobody wants to hear anything on the negative side. People want to hear somebody who's positive, who's upbeat, who's going to help them drive their business forward. So you've got to be mindful of that as well.
Mm. So what would you say you would need to do, or how would you know what your dream job actually is? Because I'm sure lots of people have lots of ideas of what they really want to do, but maybe not actually truly focus on what their dream job would be if they could choose anything.
I think it's important to sort of start to sort of really listen and tune into yourself. It's what makes you really happy. So when I'm coaching people and they are talking to me about their jobs, they can talk to me about, you know, sort of the administration side of it, or what they're doing perhaps within education or teaching or wherever they are in their businesses. But once they start to talk about something that's really interesting, their whole body language starts to change, you know, and they start to get animated, and they start to sort of talk about, maybe one of their hobbies or whatever it is, they change. And it's about you listening to that within yourself. What makes your heart sing? What makes you leap out of bed? What makes you want to really go and do stuff? What is it that fires you up? And that is the key, because wherever you've got that sort of passion, there is going to be something or a career related to what it is that you are, you're passionate about. I'm just thinking because of my book here, in here I've got some case studies, and there was somebody that I met and I talk about, and I interviewed for the book, and he was an architect. He trained as an architect. He kind of followed that flow through from school, but actually he became a children's author. He completely changed his whole career around, and he's got, I don't know, 60 plus books underneath his name now, because that was far more in flow with who he was. And I recall him talking to me about having discussions. I think there was a talk of redundancy. I think that it was around that time, he changed his career, and he told me how his boss, when he was talking to him, partner of the firm, and he said he just wanted to run a bike, a bike hire place in the Peak District or something like that. I mean, so it's always within you. I mean, if you sort of dig and and then you follow that flow and you start to sort of work towards it in bite-sized chunks. Someone, I love doing this. It's great. It's a far cry from sort of, what I've done for years, which is scroll through CVs and things like that. But this is, I love to add value. I love to help and enable and support people to follow their flow. So, from being at home, you can just identify what it is you really enjoy doing, and get involved in groups and connect with people and talk to people, and where you can use the skills that you've got to migrate across into something that is your dream job, and it's great to have that bigger picture as well. It's not necessarily going to appear overnight, but if you've got that in mind, because I know, for instance, with you getting involved in sort of Arbonne, which I know you are, you've got this bigger picture where you want to go. So that's what drives you. That's what motivates you to do what you do, because you love doing what you're doing so much.
Yeah.
And once you do that, work's not work.
No. Don't feel like I ever work.
Exactly. I don't. Although I have just done some invoicing this morning. I'm going, I really need to outsource the invoicing.
On the subject of adding value, I'd just like to say that you've done so much over the last 3 or 4 months since this whole change in the world has happened in terms of adding value for people. Sarah's got an amazing group called Manifesting Your Dream Job, and there's some really great content on there. So definitely, we'll post the link to that later. Please do join it. And also, not only that, you've been doing some great interviews with really successful people, just adding value and giving back to people, and they've been really, really great to watch as well. And again, that's on Sarah's YouTube, so we'll post that later, because I know that you want to hit 100 subscribers, don't you? Because then you can change your...
Yes, once I've got 100 subscribers, I mean, literally my whole YouTube channel, it's literally just been built through lockdown. So I'm in my early stages, but as you say, there's some great content on there, and it was all spurred on. In fact, we're sort of talking about the whole dream job and careers and CVs. What spurred me on to actually do that in the first instance was a collaboration. And this is something else, collaborate with people like we're doing now. That's a great way to move your career forward in the direction you want to go. But Louise Travat, who is the founder of Simply Changing, and it was just literally on another Facebook group that I'd set up for coaches, that we were communicating, and she said, can you do some lives with me? And I said, yeah, great. And we jumped on and we recorded 5 live recordings of about an hour each. They're quite lengthy, about all to do with career, spending time. So really going into the nitty gritty of what we've just touched on the surface of. So that's what sort of started it. And then, yes, I've been interviewing people who've got inspiring career stories. And I've got one coming out later today with Sian Lewis, who's the outdoor girl. And she's brilliant. She's combined her love of journalism and writing and travel and outdoor activities with her career. So she's a freelance travel writer and blogger. She's got like 20,000 on YouTube, not on YouTube, 20,000 Instagram followers.
I follow her on Instagram. Really, really good.
Do you? Yeah, she's fab, absolutely fab. Yeah, so I had a good chat with her last week, so that will be going out shortly. So what I'm going to do next is going to record lots of short, sort of 5-10 minute tops tips on. So we'll just do it. We'll go into detail about what to do on your CV. Just working on, for instance, the profile piece, or what elements, and just I should do one a week, and so they're more accessible. But yeah, so at the moment I'm heading towards 100. Once I get 100, I can have my own URL, which means I haven't got to, however you pronounce it, URL.
I was trying to think what it was. You needed up to 100 subscribers. URL, that's it.
Yes, that's it. Because otherwise, I've got this. You get this long coding, and so it'd be really nice to sort of get beyond that, and then start to motor ahead, so that I get basically, so I can access or provide this information to more people, because there's so much I've got that I want to share with people. So on a free basis, but then obviously if people want to work with me in more detail on a one-to-one basis, you know, I'm available. You know, all my sort of programs are available on my website as well. So I tend to like to do rather a lot, keep myself busy.
I think you're the busiest person I know. So
I'm also writing my second book as well, Danny. So.
Oh, just another thing to add on in.
Yeah.
So in terms of, so I think right now it's a great time to be actually looking at what you've been suggesting, looking at what you're passionate about and what you could maybe change career-wise. So if someone was looking to make a career change, how would you suggest they go about that?
Right, great question, because it is about looking at that career change, what it is that you actually want to do. So have a look at what transferable skills you've actually got, and who you can network with, who you can actually, who is in your sort of network, or who is one removed from your network. Who is it that, your contacts, your resources, what options have you got? How can you actually connect with people that are aligned with where you actually want to go? What extra studies do you need to do? What Facebook groups can you get involved in? What LinkedIn channel? There's so much out there that gives you so many options, as I say, from sort of LinkedIn to Facebook to YouTube, different ways of learning, different ways of accessing people and connecting with people. And it's just putting that effort and that energy in, but equally so looking at what's transferable, and also what you might need to learn in the meantime to make what you want to achieve happen. So
how would you do that? How would you gain that experience if you didn't have the experience in the area you wanted to go into?
Well, again, great question, because there's always the opportunity to volunteer. I mean, it may be that you want to do something and you just say, oh, can I come and do some work shadowing? Can I do some volunteering? This is a skill I can bring with me. I'd love to come and learn more about it. And it is about making those connections. One of my coaching clients that I work with, he was in sales within a sort of IT sector, but he was far more sort of hipster and wanted to be more in the sort of the brewing sector, sort of homemade bakery, etc. and so forth. And that's exactly what he did. He started to go and hang out with the kind of people he wanted to connect with and, talk to them. And then he got to speaking to some brewers and he got opportunity to go there, and eventually he got offered a role within that sector, which was utilising the skills he'd got, but equally so he'd been doing home brewing, so it really enriched his knowledge, so he could really talk passionately about what he knew, because he was bringing that skill set, that passion to that sector because he loved it. He was so passionate about it. And actually, if you're passionate about something, you're going to naturally put more effort and more energy into it than you want to do something that, let's say, for instance, you've got these great skills in terms of communication and sales and connecting with people, etc. But if I was going to put you into an engineering company, you wouldn't be sort of very excited, would you? But because you're in flow, you are naturally, you talk about the products that you've got, and you are excited about them, and then you can bring that to a potential employer or go and get some work experience. It's getting yourself in front of those people. It's making those connections, and it's having the conversations with people that are already within your network who might know somebody else. But it's what you give back, give out, you'll attract back. So it's just asking questions. It's just finding out more information. It's being curious.
Yeah. So final question for you, and you did touch on this at the beginning, but what experience do you have in manifesting your own dream job, Sarah?
Right. Okay. Right. If I rewind, crikey, to 2009. So I shall give you a little bit of my history. This is just one example. I'd been working for the same recruitment business for 13 years, and we were in the recession, and without great company. I loved working for them, had a really fantastic time, but the energy within the industry has changed, the energy within that business has really, really changed. And you know me, I'm really sort of upbeat, and and I use that energy all the time, but I would go into the office and I'd go, it pulled me down. I felt so drained. And I thought, well, what do I do? Where do I go? Because at that time, I'd just literally been a recruitment consultant. That was me. I, worked within recruitment since 1987, never progressed to management, purely because I just enjoyed doing the job. And I thought, why do I want to go into a management job? I enjoy doing the job. So I just had my head down. I'd been married, and I was head down, and I just got on doing the job I enjoyed doing. Went to work, came back. So my life looks nothing like it did. And anyway, so I thought, well, where do I go? I've got too much experience to go and join the nationals with a team of graduates, because I've got too much knowledge. I can't go and manage another business because I've not managed anywhere. These were my thoughts at the time. So how? What do I do? I toyed previously with self-employment, and had spoken to a couple of colleagues about it, but they weren't interested. They were quite happy staying where they were. And I thought, well, where does that leave me? And I thought, well, basically, I need to work with a small business and help and support them grow their business. Mm-hmm. And I kid you not, within about, I don't know, 7 days of actually that penny drop moment of getting that clarity, I was approached by 2 separate people who I'd not spoken to before about what I'd been thinking, with identical opportunities to go and work with them, helping them develop their small business into something else, but on a self-employed basis. You couldn't just like, it's like, oh wow. Yeah, so bearing in mind I was a single mum, having got divorced 4 years previously. We're at the height of the recession, and I was being presented with an opportunity to go self-employed in recruitment. Who does that at the height of a recession? So I then had to learn all about putting together a business plan to get a bank loan to go and do it, which is what I did. And yeah, I've been self-employed since 2009. And along the way, I've manifested lots of different things into my life anyway. But that was kind of a real key gear change. And as I say, because I've been through that, I know it's possible, but it's having that clarity of mindset, it's having that self-belief, it's having that ability to just go and make it happen as well, because you've got to put the effort in. And that's why, with all we've just gone through now, I know that I will get through it, and we are getting through it. And I've not furloughed my staff or made anybody redundant. We've just carried on, and we've pivoted, and we've worked on other areas of the business, because as lockdown hit, the recruitment business stopped. But as I say, over the years, as you alluded to earlier, I've trained as a coach, and so we've been working a lot more on the coaching business. And we're currently working on some newsletters, getting those out there, and all sorts of stuff. We've got lots of fantastic creativity going on to just give out more. And I've got retreats in the planning, and holistic retreats and staycations, and second book, and more YouTube. And some recruitment. I need a German-speaking customer service administrator at the moment, so I'm doing that with the other hand.
And you've been on multiple radio shows.
Yes, I had a text from Mum this morning. Oh, I heard you back on Radio Nottingham today, because they'd recorded some little clips, and they've been putting those on. So I've done quite a bit with them just recently. So yeah. So it's all about I just want to help people know it's all possible. And even if there isn't necessarily a role out there for you, you can make it happen. It's getting that clarity, what it is you enjoy doing. Yeah. And then you will see them. It's not about plastering your CV out to everywhere. It may be that you take something working on a checkout or carrot picking or topping or whatever in the meantime, whilst you work your way through it, whilst you put the things into place, because that's what people want to see as well, that you've been doing stuff. Even when it's been difficult, they want to see that, you've been making an effort, you've been turning up, and it's consistency. And I could talk for hours, Danny, as you know.
We often do. Well, it's been really, really good talking to you, Sarah. And like you said, we could talk for so much longer on this subject. We probably should wrap it up. But if you do want to speak to Sarah, please get in contact with her. Like, as you can see, she's got a wealth of knowledge in this area. So if you're looking for a career change, if you want to manifest your dream job, please get in touch with Sarah. She will absolutely be able to help you. So I just want to run through some of the things that I'm going to share with you in the comments below after this. So like we said, she's got a YouTube channel which has got loads of great interviews on it. We want to help her get to 100 subscribers. So if you can subscribe to that today, that would be amazing. So we'll put
Danny, just to let you know quickly, we've got a promotion at the moment as well. If you sign up to YouTube and we've got your email address, we're going to do a draw on Friday, and we've got a number of signed books, copies of my book to give away. So as well.
Excellent. So
sorry, you mentioned it.
Even more reason to subscribe right now. So yes, we'll definitely share that. There's also the group that I mentioned, the Manifest Your Dream Job group on Facebook, which is great. So some really good engaging posts you've been putting in there, and I know everyone in there is really loving that group. So join that group. It's completely free to join. Loads of great content in there. You've also got Sarah's website, which I think you get a bi-monthly newsletter on that, don't you? And that's for your coaching business. SarahNaylor.com.
So it's sarahjnaylor.com. Yeah.
And then I think there's also you've got some kind of PDF that they can get for free, which is all about transforming your life, which is always good to have a free download.
Absolutely.
And then she's got her recruitment business as well, which is naylorgeorge.co.uk. Is that right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to put those all in the comments below. Do get in contact with Sarah if you are interested in anything she does. She'll be happy to help you. And we'll have to get you back on, Sarah, because I know there was other subjects we could have covered today. So
absolutely, yeah, no, definitely. One other thing I should say: the book's available on Amazon as well, and there is a Kindle version of it too. So for those people that don't want to book or that want to write, there is a Kindle version too.
Yes. Or if you get direct, then you've got a few that you could post direct out, haven't you?
Oh yes, we've got some in the office that I can sign, and we can package up, and we can do a nice little note inside, so we can personalise that. It's hand signed by myself in a special pen.
Worth a fortune. It'll be worth a fortune in years to come.
Who knows? Maybe see, my bigger picture is to have an opera style chat show. So
wow.
So
it's on the vision.
So something to work towards. It's always good to have something to work towards.
Something else to work on, Sarah. Well, thank you so much again
for having me, though. It's been great. Thank you.
It's been great talking to you, Sarah. Have a wonderful day, and thanks everyone for watching.
Bye.